It's good to have familiar places that you can come back to frequently in all sorts of seasons and all sorts of weather. And Summit Lake here is one of those. And today it's beautiful fresh snow and a little bit of ice on the lake. Life is good. Here's the big map. The red circle shows where I am on Vancouver Island for my hike near Port Alberni. Here's the E&N Railway's Port Alberni Subdivision from Parksville on the right side of the map to Port Alberni on the left side of the map. The red circle is the area of my hike at the Port Alberni summit. And here's a closer look of the railway, the highway, and Loon Lake and Summit Lake. And my start is what was the boat launch area at Loon Lake, just off the Loon Lake Main Forest Service Road. My turnaround is over there on the far right, and that is where the railway is really close to Highway 4, really close to the Alberni summit. And the red line is my hike with 3 trestles along the way. Here's the parking lot at Loon Lake. Informal parking area. There's construction going on. Mosaic is creating a forest recreation campsite. Here's the trestle at Loon Lake. This is the kind of conditions I was hoping for when I was thinking of what to do today. I was hoping for a bit of snow on the trees. I'm really happy with that. This is the first of 3 trestles I'm going to go to today, and I'm hoping for beautiful scenes like this. That's looking back towards Loon Lake. I love the crunch now of the snow. This is nice. I have never been here with snow like this, so I'm looking forward to some really beautiful scenes before the snow might start to drip off the trees when it warms up a bit. Oh, nice. Here's the west switch of the Arrowsmith Siding. I like this section of railway here at the Port Alberni summit because it's just a short distance between 3 lovely trestles. Just 0.7 of a mile between the 3 of them, and they're roughly spread out evenly. And the longest one is the middle one around this corner. I love this spot. Oh yeah, the mountain, Mount Arrowsmith, looks really nice. Wow, lovely. Beautiful. And the switch is properly lined. Thanks, James. Oh, what a beautiful view. Oh yeah, magnificent. I can see this walk taking me 3 times as long as it normally would, stopping for all the beauty. I just have to go a bit slower to get a good view of the tie before I step on it, in case it's one of the really thin ones. Walking on snow, compressing the snow. Oh my. Beautiful. Thin layer of ice on the swamp here. So gorgeous. Oh, this is beautiful. There's no prints on this, but there will be now. Oh, beautiful. This is the mile 21.8 trestle. It's the longest trestle on the E&N's Port Alberni subdivision. I like it when I have those moments where I just don't want to leave. This is one of them, but the next trestle is very beautiful, and I want to get there when there's still a lot of snow on the boughs and branches of the tree. Oh yeah, nice. The morning sun is lighting up the slope over there. Okay, time to go. Continue on to the next one. Short distance away through the snow, just down this tangent section here. I enjoyed the diversity of lighting just as a result of whether I'm in a shaded area right now. It's always nice coming up to a trestle or bridge because the land opens up and the lighting is different because there's nothing in its way. Coming closer to the beautiful trestle, the one at mile 21.4 at this west end of Summit Lake, otherwise known as Dog Lake or Junior Lake. I've seen it on maps. If I try to use words, I'm just going to run out. This is beautiful. Looking railway west. Okay, leaving here at Summit Lake, and I'll walk railway east towards Mount Arrowsmith, and Summit Lake's going to be beside me on my left. I think my goal is going to be the rock cut just at the top of the summit at Locharkaig. Then I'll turn around there and come on back and see everything in a bit brighter light. Way down there is the trestle I just left. Beside me here is beautiful, I was going to say Loon Lake, beautiful Summit Lake. So at the end of the railway here, where it goes out of sight into the dark curve, that's around mile 21. There is a signpost. And up here on the right soon is where the Locharkaig doubling spur was. So when trains came up the summit from the east, to make it easier for pulling the heavy train up this 2.2% grade coming up around the corner, they'd take half the train up, leave it here on a spur, and then go back and get the rest of the train. So the big windfall cut up ahead is my indicator that the doubling spur was right through there. Let's get in a little bit. The lighting is going to be poor, and it's just a built-up grade right here, and then it drops off. So it's the built-up grade here. So now, in my usual quest for mileposts, I know that the milepost for 21 used to be around here. Oh yeah, nicely camouflaged, still standing up on my right here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love seeing milepost signs and other railway signage here, as it reminds me of when this was an actively operating railway with trains. I'm thankful for my wide-angle lens on my phone camera here. Mile 21. I'll just go a little bit around the corner because I really like that rock cut right beside Highway 4. And just to the left is where the doubling spur was. This is where it gets quite muddy, and I'm already feeling that. Very spongy on the ground. Water accumulates here in this rock cut. Sure is nice to see it nicely brushed out. So up above on the right is Highway 4 on the climb up the Port Alberni summit, known locally as the Hump. Back when trains were running and there was less tree growth up there just above at the top of the bluff and a few steps would be the highway or the side of the highway, and you could take photographs there of trains working hard as they come up to the summit. I've seen shots there from the likes of Mr. Wilkie and Mr. Atkinson. So the highway right up there. And this is my turnaround. About mile 20.85, something like that, 20.9. I just can't get enough of this scene. Alright, returning. Bit of ice here in the puddles in the squishy section. There's milepost 21. And there's some sunlight hitting the snow-covered boughs of the evergreens as I try to wax poetic. The big windfall tells me that the Locharkaig doubling spur is right in here. There's rails. There's a pile of rails right there. Alright. Let's get moving. Or do I want to jump in here again? Okay. I got the snow blowing off the trees. I'll leave my big camera out on the main grade. Don't want to get it all wet with dripping water. But yeah, here's the obvious grade of the spur. Yeah, look how far it goes down. There's the rails. And the grade just continues there. And you can see the mounds where the ties were. Like right here, I'm stepping on the old tie. It's just been such a long time. Again, you can see the rib-like structure of the old ties just returning to the earth as they disintegrate. And the texture of the moss makes them yeah, pretty apparent as well. Here, playing inside the Locharkaig doubling spur. Now to get out through the through the snow. All right, I just came out through there. Let's continue towards the Summit Lake Trestle at mile 21.4. As I'm doing these railway walks, sometimes I have some crib notes with me on some of the finer details, but for the most part, it's from memory and familiarity. I have a brain that catalogs information in a way that's not really typical. It works for me. If I'm interested in something, I find it easy to just store that information, like I said, like a catalog, and just recall it. And over the last 3 years, as I've been keenly interested in the E&N trestles and bridges and just the overall railway here, I've done lots of research. I've looked at a lot of old charts and maps, and so I've just gotten very accustomed to, in my mind, visualizing the railway in terms of mileposts. And so that's why it's easy to rattle off. Here comes mile 21.4, and beyond that, the mile 21.8 trestle, the longest on the E&N port sub, all that kind of stuff. That's just the way I'm wired. When I first got interested in these railway trestles and structures in 2019, I was just feverishly working to a list to see as many of them as I could. Everything was new. And then in the years since, I've just enjoyed going back to some of my favorite places and seeing them in different seasons, different light. And example today, snowy conditions. Just for the beauty, for making interesting photographs of it, for seeing the changes due to time and nature, and some of the recent work on brushing, all that kind of stuff. And now, as I approach 2022, I'm really finding that I've got my favorite areas that now I go to because I just enjoy them. This is where I have a peaceful experience. I can use my creativity with my camera. I can still just operate in my giftings of memory and cataloging, that kind of catalog brain. and just enjoy. So happiness really is knowing what you love and doing it. Here comes the mile 21.4 trestle at Summit Lake. Yeah, this is beautiful. Oh my, this is really nice. Wow. I was considering doing a different walk this morning. Glad I didn't, because the amount of snow would have made that more difficult. And the shorter walk here, just over a mile each way, is way nicer for the snow. And oh my, lots of opportunity to just linger and enjoy the beauty. That ice is really nice. And I also like the morning sun that's hitting this side. So in my scene on the left, in the shade, shadows, and on the right, lit up by sun, and it sure makes a difference in the color. I just love this spot, this view. Some items here to protect the water system, I think. Oh, look at the beauty. Just love the patterns on the ice. This is nice. I think it's time to go to the next trestle, the middle one, the long one. See what the sunlight has done to the scene there. Because I'm so enthused, excited, happy about the snow and these lovely photographic conditions, I kind of don't notice the cold until I stand in one place for too long when I'm working some photographs, and then I start to feel it. But moving again, I'll warm up. Okay, mile 21.8, the long straight trestle, the one with some wobbly ties, some ties that are split and disintegrating, and there's snow, so extra careful. So there's what they've got at all the trestle sites here, as there's work being done. Oh yeah, bit more color on the trees. All that white, oh, that is so nice. It's an interesting area. On the back side of the swamp is a trail that goes around, and often, just like this morning, I can hear voices over there. People doing the hike. Here come some people from the other end. It's that time of the morning where it's not just early bird me, but other people. Very popular hiking area here, and with Mosaic building a forestry recreation campground, it will get even more popular probably. People have disappeared into that trail. This is really interesting. I've got monochrome on the right because of the shade, and I got some sunlight giving a bit of color, some green and some browns on the left. Some nice reflections in here, and a bit hard to see. Okay, looking back at this beauty. Hey, here's the east switch for the Arrowsmith Siding. Properly lined. Nice. Got the siding on my right. The snow is flying, but it's flying off of the trees. Tonight, December 5th, we're going to get some snow here. Actually over a lot of Vancouver Island. Looking back eastward at the Arrowsmith Siding, here comes the west switch and the trestle across the edge of the end of Loon Lake, mile 22.1. Crunch, crunch, crunch. So that direction is where the Mosaic Campground is going to be, through there. Their website says mountain views and lake views. So time will tell what it all looks like. It's supposed to be ready in the spring. That's one of the projects going on around here by Mosaic. The other one the Mosaic's doing is they're falling a block of trees basically right through there. There's a buffer here between that block and the railway. But on the way out on the Forest Service Road, you can see the area that's been logged already. So I parked up here, right near where the boat launch area is, because there's things going on where I normally park by the level crossing, and I'll talk about that when I get there. It has to do with this orange thing sticking up. It's a good time to talk about it. It's pretty obvious. One of the things that's often found along railways, but seldom really easily visible, are utility cables, whether those are fiber-optic cables or some other cables. Sometimes you also see gas lines, and that's a normal thing for railways. And there is a utility cable that follows a lot of the E&N Victoria subdivision. And it's always interesting when you get to a bridge or trestle, they cross, they create a metal pipe, some sort of conduit on the edge of the trestle that cable travels through. And then the rest of it is buried, so you can't see it. So it is now very obvious to me that a utility cable is being installed here along the E&N's Port Alberni subdivision. The cable sticking out of the ground right at the trestle, along with the similar one at the other end, is a good clue. And it just gives context to all the work that I've been observing here over almost the last year. So it's pretty obvious now what it is. Just a normal business item for most railways. It's just interesting because at one point in time you can actually observe some of the installation in progress, and then it just disappears. However, it can reappear, as we found out in the Fraser and Thompson Canyons of Canadian Pacific, where there's been washouts of bridges. And one of the things you see if you look at the photos of those washed out areas closely
is you see the orange cable basically hanging, and that's where it used to be buried beside the railway grade. But this one here is just getting ready to go in. Okay, let's cross. Beautiful. I'm on the short section of railway between the Loon Lake Trestle and the level crossing of the Loon Lake Forest Service Road, because I want to show you what's new and what makes this cable project obvious. I try my best to keep my social media stuff free of speculation. I don't mind guessing on things from time to time, but I won't make conclusions or spread misinformation. And so I will usually wait until I've heard something official, or when something is just so obvious that there's no point in avoiding discussing it. And so now this is so obvious. Project that's going on here. There are coils of cable ready to be installed, and I've been here before and I've seen a bunch of metal conduit as well, all on a work car on rails like that.